Okay. The poems I'm going to talk about are by Sharon Olds. There's two of them. The first one is I Go Back to May 1937, and the second one is The Victims. The theme of both these poems talk about the author's childhood and life. The first one, I Go Back to 1937, explains how she wants to go back and stop her parents from ever getting married to be able to prevent all the pain and suffering that she and her mother go through in their life. She realizes she can't do that because if she were to stop them from getting married, then she wouldn't exist. The victim's account is her account of what happens after her parents divorce and after they finally divorce. She talks about how happy she was and how her father basically loses everything. There are two literary devices that I'm going to talk about, and the first one is going to be foreshadowing. And the example of foreshadowing I'm using from I Go Back to May 1937 says, red tiles glinting like bent plates of blood behind his head. This is the example of foreshadowing because the author is letting us know that her father will not be a good guy. It talks about like the blood and the bent, like, just something very dark and kind of, not nice behind him. And it discusses it more later on in the poem, which talks about how he does things he never imagined he would do. He hurts children and he makes her mother suffer. Also, the irony in the poem itself is that no matter how much she wants to stop her parents from getting married and, living that life, she can't because, then she wouldn't exist, because all the pain she went through as a child, all the struggles, all that stuff she endured is what shaped her into the adult she is today. And she lives a very good life now, and, she uses those experiences and writes about them, and it's made her a very successful poet. And she really loves the life she has now, so that's why she says in the poem that for them to basically continue on what they're doing, and she'll just write about it. The one other literary device was the use of illusion, and that actually comes from The Victims when she talks about she refers kind of to how once her father basically loses everything, how everybody felt, but she kind of references back to Richard Nixon when he was, leaving office and had resigned amidst all that scandal and stuff like that, and, his plane takes off, how happy everybody was, and that just kind of relates back to, like, shows, like, what kind of guy her father really was, and how happy they were when eventually her mother was able to leave him. So, there we go.